Hey everybody, it is week 47 for me. This week has been really good. Still some mental bumps with the foot, although it is getting better, thankfully. And yeah, today we did our meetup. It was so much fun. If you guys or anybody's in the Pacific Northwest, please do consider coming. We do them every month. It is such wonderful fun getting to walk, hike. Scott, we took our grill there and he made us some delicious flank and ribs. Or find one in your area. And if there isn't one in your area, consider starting one. It's just wonderful to have people, it doesn't matter if they're keto, carnivore, low carb, whatever, having people who are trying to better themselves. Okay, let me get off my soapbox. We had a lot of fun. We walked. Funny enough, the path I took us kind of like deviated around the main path because it's prettier. Well, it's always me. We're walking along and there's this really narrow bridge that kind of goes over the pond we walk next to. And I see this lady laying on the bridge, and the bridge is like one person wide. It's a wooden bridge, if I remember correctly. And there's an older man behind her and she's an older lady, and I'm like, oh Lordy. So I walk up to her and ask if she was okay and if she fell, and she said yes. And she was probably in quite a daze. I asked if she needed help up and she's like, I don't know. And then I'm like, you need help up. So I showed the husband how to help get her up. I helped and had him behind her and we got her up, but she wasn't really able to bear weight. So two lovely of the gentlemen that were with us let her bear her weight on both of them, and we got her out off the bridge, sat down, and then I helped the husband call EMS because she could not bear weight on her leg. So she had to be come and got in. And of course, Scott calls me because we left her there with him waiting for EMS. Scott calls me. He's like, is everybody okay? Does that ambulance have to do with you? I'm like, how do you always know it has something to do with me? I was like, nah, none of us, we're fine. And I just kind of told him the story. But sad. She was really sweet, and it was her 69th birthday today too, which, what a present, because I think she probably broke her hip from her symptoms. Sad, but we'll wish her well, and hopefully she'll recover. Anywho, we walked. It was so much fun. The falls are gorgeous. Scott and Buck, my brother-in-law, were wonderful and brought the grill and set everything up for us. So by the time we made it back to the pavilion, he had already started grilling food and getting everything set up. It was so much fun just talking to people, you guys. I freaking love it. It is the greatest. It is so great having just like-minded people around and supportive people. Yeah. So I am feeling really good today. And of course, I'm the worst at taking pictures during the events because I'm so engrossed in the conversations with people. This week I focused on cutting nitrates out, and I've done excellent at that. I think I do feel better not having the cheddar kielbasas and things like that, the extra sausage and nitrates. I do have 1 to 1.5 pieces of bacon most mornings. A couple times I'll eat 2. There's always 2 on my plate, but usually I give Scott the second piece of bacon every morning. So that's the only nitrates that I've consumed this week. I feel better. I really do think I feel better from it. I am only using, this is kind of what I decided, I'm only going to use the heavy cream in my coffee. No cheese for me, or at least I did that this week. I've done no cheese before, but maybe the no cheese, no nitrates, I don't know. We'll see. You know, it's always trial and error with all of this stuff to figure out exactly what works for you. Because what works for you may not work for the next person and vice versa. Let's see, what else? My foot, it is doing a bit better. We walked 2.5 miles the other day. It was barely starting to bother me. What I've been doing is trying to cut up my walking during the day, so versus doing one really long stint. There's a car outside. I've been walking Ryu first thing in the morning about her mile walk, and then we'll go once or twice more during the day to try to get the distance in, because honestly, walking is so good for me, not just physically but mentally. It makes me feel like I can clear. It makes me feel like I can breathe. It just clears my head, listening to the birds and the wind and just being outside. So that's been kind of a struggle getting over the fact that, I was consecutively walking 5 and 6 miles at times. Reeves panting, sorry. But being able to slowly work back up to it, that's been key. What else? We're preparing for the low carb cruise in 2 weeks. Super excited about that. I have not been on an airplane in years. The last time I got on an airplane, I had to use a seatbelt extender. I was just that big that I had to use one. I'm really excited to get on and not have to use one. I'll probably cry. I'm gonna cry right now because that was like one of the moments in my life that if I could have crawled under a rock and died, I would have. When the flight attendant was like, nah, you gotta use this. The puppies are doing good. Scott's doing good. He has one of his incisions. 2 of the 3 have healed. One of them is not doing so great. So he goes back to the surgeon on Tuesday to have them look at that. I think he probably just needs a round of antibiotics, maybe just help clear up a little bit of the infection, and things will be good. I have an interview with Dr. Ovaldia. I always say his name wrong. I think on Tuesday this week. I'm excited to do that with him. I have his book over there that I'm going to work on reading over the next few days. What else? Haven't decided when exactly we're doing the next meetup in June. I will keep you guys posted about that. Scott and I have some really exciting things kind of in the works that I'm hoping in the next 6 weeks will kind of get cemented and finished, and I can share that news with you guys. Yeah, it's been a really good week. And this next week, I'm so sorry, I'm so tired. This next week, I'm just going to continue with the limited amount of nitrates to no nitrates and stick with 99% of the time just heavy cream for my dairy or butter, and try to eliminate more of that. See how I do? I weighed myself this morning. I don't know what I weigh. I made Scott not let me look because I've noticed, and I've gone over this, and it's just something I still associate shame and guilt with the pounds. And I don't feel shame and guilt. Like, this is very hard to explain. I am where I'm at, but those numbers, it's like the numbers themselves hold that shame and guilt. It's very hard for me to articulate this clearly. And seeing it kind of stuck, it just puts me in this mindset of like, what am I doing wrong? And I just have to work myself down from that. So versus having to go through that rigmarole, what I decided is I'm not going to weigh myself until the day before we go on our cruise, and let it be a surprise for the next 3 weeks. So he's tracking my weight for me, but I told him not to let me look and not to share it with me, no matter how much I looked. I made him clear the scale off so I couldn't cheat and go back and look at it. What else? Going back to the gym this week, my foot is doing well enough that I feel confident to not be worried about any issues with it. I'm thinking more than likely it's just, instead of a a stress fracture, what I've done is just cause some inflammation, and the tendons are getting kind of squishied between the bone, the way it's acting, because I've been taking some NSAIDs just to help and resting it more. And then paddleboarding, gonna wait a couple more weeks. I think that's plenty of rambling for 9 minutes and 15 seconds. I appreciate you guys so much. I truly do. And just remember, if you're struggling, you are not the only one. Progress over perfection. Take the tiny steps. No matter how far you've fallen down, or if you haven't even started, one step aiming towards your goal can be a world of difference. One step each time. Even if you take 10 steps forward and 5 back, you've still made 5 positive steps forward. Just focus on that. Don't give up. Don't give up because you weren't perfect or you ate something bad and you messed up. Acknowledge it, understand why it happened, then move on. We cannot do anything to change the past, and I don't want anybody stuck there, because that is a terrible place to be. And someone said to me one time, anxiety is all about living in the past or living in the future, never living about the now. So, because, you know, I have experienced anxiety for a very long time, although it's much better. Live in the now. Don't fret about the past, okay? Appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.